needing them, and utilizing them now. A little bit about me and how I got introduced to ASPAN in the first place. I graduated high school in 1976 with no thoughts of going to college. Graduated number 5 in my class, so I was a pretty smart kid. Got a decent job and moved out of my parents' home. I had my own apartment, my own car, brand new car. One of my downfalls is I love cars. I had a new car. Anyway, so we fast forward all the way up to 1983, and I got married, bought my first house, and 1987 found me with a son. I was doing fine. I had 2 cars in the driveway, a motorcycle in the garage, a bedroom that I didn't use for anything except guests, and never in a million years considered that I'd be one day homeless. But that's where I found myself eventually. I had a good job, got divorced in 1989, lost my house, had to go back to an apartment. Still not a big deal to me. I still had a decent job. I had my son, and we made it just fine in a 2-bedroom apartment for a lot of years. I developed rheumatoid arthritis along the way and worked in a private practice with a medical practice. So being a private practice, very small, we didn't have health care benefits. I was paying for all that out of my pocket. There came a time when I couldn't afford it, so I went without insurance for a number of years. My wife kept insurance on my son, so he was covered, but I wasn't. I developed rheumatoid arthritis along the way, and all these costs were coming straight out of my paycheck. It made it really hard to make ends meet. So credit cards started getting used, medical bills. It just seemed to escalate out of control. There came a time when I lost my good job, and having no formal education as far as higher education goes, and only job skills in a specific medical practice, I was kind of like at a disadvantage looking for a job, especially one where I couldn't do even close to what I was used to doing, which required me to stand on my feet for 8 to 12 hours a day. I started working part-time jobs so that I could sit down more, because they were all low paying. Eventually, after losing this good job, my unemployment ran out, and I had no place to go except to a very low paying job, part-time, and I lost my apartment. I lost my good car. Credit cards were out of control by then. Continued to take my medication and go see the doctor every month and just charge it as long as I could. I started living from couch to couch, and that wasn't getting me anywhere, because pretty soon you wear out your welcome with anybody. My family had kind of disowned me by then for other reasons. So I didn't have anywhere to turn. And I continued on this couch-to-couch routine until I found a car. A friend of mine lent me a car so I could go find a better job. And I never found that better job. I kept trying, but I never did. I eventually ended up living in that car for about 5 months. I put myself through a training class as a certified nursing assistant, and worked in a nursing home and part-time at a Blockbuster Video. But when you're paying all those credit card bills, it kind of doesn't put much money aside for saving for an apartment, another apartment. With one eviction against you, it's even harder. So I washed my clothes, my scrubs and uniforms in a Safeway bathroom sink. I bathed in that same bathroom. I eventually went back to couch with somebody else. And I entered into an alcohol treatment program, because during that time of all the stress and everything else, I decided I liked to drink a little bit. And that, of course, took more money. So I went into an alcohol treatment facility here in Arlington. I met ASPAN then for the first time, and they got me to a dentist. I really wanted to see a dentist. I hadn't seen one in a number of years, and they helped me out with that. And I drinking took off again. So I was asked to leave that place. I found another apartment, a basement apartment, to move into, a friend of a friend kind of situation. But still I'm living in somebody else's house. And I had my good job, was getting back on my feet, bought a new truck, everything was going well. And then the bottom fell out and I lost that job. Realizing that I had an obvious alcohol problem by then, I went into alcohol treatment again. During that time, I got introduced to ACE-BAN. I went into transitional housing and was picked for a 100 homes program. When I went to ACE-BAN, they told me that they had something a little better maybe for me and put me on a waiting list for permanent supportive housing, which is what I'm in now. I got housed in June of this year. The 21st, I signed the lease for the first time in 9 years. For the first time in 2 years, I had a key to my own place. I moved out of transitional housing on the 24th. My case manager has helped me do tremendous things. She helped me set up the utilities in my own name. I was kind of out of my element, even if it's been so long since I had to do anything like that. She helped me with that. She's hooked me up with the food bank so that I could go and get some groceries every week. Most recently, she found funding to give me to an eye doctor. My rheumatoid arthritis took off again. They changed medications, and it required a dilated eye exam, which I had never had in my life. So ACE-BAN helped me with that. I work two part-time jobs now. I work at Pier 1, a brand new one in Roslyn, which is 3 minutes from my door. I never thought I lived in Roslyn, but I do with ACE-BAN's help. And I work at Home Depot. I work probably 43 hours a week on a good week. Less a lot of times if the business just isn't there for whatever reason. The economy sometimes it trails off a little bit. Suffice it to say that I'm underemployed. I don't have an education to give me a better job at the present time. I'd love to have one full-time job, and ACE-BAN's even helping with that. I've got a job coordinator that's working on a resume for me, or will be very soon. Just as soon as I turn the papers back in for with all my work history, which was spotty for a lot of years because with no transportation, no place to live, like Kathy said, it makes it really difficult to go out and find another job. It was hard enough to try and hang on to the ones that I did find. So anyway, ACE-BAN's given me back a lot. They've given me a lot of my self-confidence back, enough so that I can stand in front of all you people. Which I'm really not a public speaker. You know, I do better on a one-on-one basis. This is kind of overwhelming. But, you know, ACE-BAN has just supplied me with everything I need. The day I signed the lease, I was met by a whole team of ACE-BAN employees with a truckload of furniture. So they brought furniture. They brought a microwave. They brought aluminum foil. You know? They brought spices. Just, you know, a pot, plates, you know, just everything, and got me all set up. You know, here I've given up everything, living in other people's houses, using their dishes and everything else. All my stuff got lost along the way. You know, when you store it in somebody's garage for too long, pretty soon I get tired of looking at it, and they toss it out. So it was basically starting over, and ACE-BAN's done it, and I'm sure with their help that I'll get back on my feet and be able to sustain myself by myself. So anyway.